a mom from the City of Angels, where LA is short for Lisa Alvarado.
So I used to brag to my son and try and fool him that we were, a lot richer than that. I would take him to parks in Beverly Hills. I did not fit in with these moms whatsoever. I mean, they're walking around with their diamond watches and their designer sunglasses and their husbands.
Don't be shy. Let her know you're happy to see her. Here's Rubi Nicholas.
So anyway, I'm not a traditional Muslim. I don't cover my hair or do any of that stuff, but when I'm around other Muslims, I just fake like I'm Latina. You don't need to say assalamu alaikum to me, honey.
Hey everybody, welcome to Find the Funny with me, Lisa Alvarado. Thank you for tuning in. We have a fantastic guest this week. It's my very good friend, Rubi Nicholas, you guys.
Yay.
She's a stand-up comedian. Give it up for Rubi.
Thanks so much, Lisa.
It's great to see you.
It's so good to see you too.
It's been a while.
I know.
Like couple years at least?
More than that.
It was at pre-pandemic.
Yeah, for sure pre-pandemic. I can't remember the last time I was in LA before the pandemic. And then it just I don't know. I feel like the pandemic was the great eraser. I just started time over again somehow. I'm just well, my life started in 2022-ish.
A lot of changes for a lot of people, actually.
Yeah.
I love how we met. We met on the show America's Funniest Mom 2. It was 2, right?
2.
Second season.
Season 2.
And we were roomed together. Me and Rubi got a room together. There was how many?
10 moms were chosen from the hundreds that tried out to live in a luxurious New York City penthouse.
We get hot water, we get cold water. This has got it going on.
The moms competed in funny challenges that tested their comedic skills.
I grabbed it first.
Thief! Thief! Someone's stealing my last chance at happiness!
Do you know any dragons?
No, I don't know.
Well, your breath smells like you do.
And their patience.
What's your next question, sir?
And now, it's time to see how it all happened. All the highlights, all the drama explained.
I don't have regrets leaving the show.
And some never-before-seen mom moments.
It's not hot.
On Nick at Night's search for the funniest mom in America, too.
The first time in New York, remember they had the Paula Bell group was separated from there were 2 sets.
Hardly remember.
I remember all of it.
Yeah, I knew,
memory.
I knew that Rubi would know every single fucking detail.
Everyone makes fun of me for that. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy in my life is
great.
it's problematic. Your memory.
That you remember everything. Oh my
like
gosh,
it,
guys love me. I don't even remember my last name.
Our 10 moms started their journey at the famous Laugh Factory in New York City, where they each won their spot in the penthouse.
I'm Lisa Alvarado. Kids learn by imitating us, okay? And so for a few years, my son wanted to paint his nails and wear lipstick and cry himself to sleep every night.
Hi, my name is Rubi Nicholas.
I'm calling to tell you Rubi will not be in school today. For today, we celebrate the Holy Festival of the Blind Goat.
Our 5 finalists who will get the chance to walk away with $50,000 and a shot at TV stardom when they hit the stage for the winner-take-all grand finale.
Where were you in the lineup? Because I don't even remember.
On show night, I was last. They handed me a softball, right?
Yeah,
so it was a real great
that's like
on finale night on the show, I was 4th.
Yeah, they always do that.
So they joggled it up.
Oh,
right?
Of course they do.
So the response was very good, obviously. So they decked it up. You were second that night.
I think so.
Second
I don't even
or
remember.
Third,
yeah.
If I recall correctly, because I want to say right before me was the redhead.
Christine
Stedman.
All right. Great to be here. I'll tell you what, my name is Christine Stedman, but you guys can call me Beyonce. Call me that, I like it. My husband calls me that. I've got a rap name for him. I call him Lazy.
I just saw an ad.
She's still joking?
Yeah, she's still. I think she's still doing stand-up comedy. I just saw that she's going to headline some place, which is
amazing.
That's fucking great.
I mean, Leanne Morgan is paving the way for us. I call her the Jennifer Hudson of the funniest moms. She didn't win Funniest Mom the season before us.
Oh, she was on the season before. So I'm like, was she on our season?
She is crushing the game.
I know.
And
She's
paving
doing
the way.
amazing.
And so
Good for her.
happy for her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Donna Lee and I are starting our show, Empty Jesters, because we're
Nice.
both empty nesters now. And jesters are clowns.
Is she still married?
She's married again.
Okay. Donna Lee was the hot one.
Donna Lee McBride.
My child, he's 3. He's very cute, and I recently took him to his first day of preschool. Oh, I know. Isn't it sweet? I tell you, first day, then the waterworks started, the kicking, the screaming, the crying. Oh, then the teacher ran over and said, "Snap out of it, Mrs. McBride. You volunteered to be here today."
Like Donna Lee was
so hot.
Yes.
That they had
on the
20 people scheduled for the finale. And Donna Lee sent in a DVD of her set to Jeff Singer, who likes tall, hot ones. And he did stand up in stilettos. A lot of tall, hot ones. Right after Funniest Mom.
Yeah.
He produced that show
I did
too.
that. Carol Leifer did that.
Yeah.
She was one of the judges.
Jeff was involved in pulling that in because Carol was one of the judges on our show.
Right.
Right.
Okay, judges, what did you think?
I think you have a really great point of view and attitude and comedy that people haven't seen before, and that's so great. A really fresh voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Small
So there's a
world.
small world of comedy.
Yes.
And Ruby has all the receipts in her gigantic head.
Okay, who else were the judges?
So-
was Carol
Carol
Leifer,
Leifer,
Mario
Mario
Cantone.
Obviously, they loved you. You know, it's tough being beautiful and funny. Believe me, they usually don't go.
Thank you, Mario.
And Alfonso Rivera.
Let's hear what our judges have to say. Alfonso.
Really, really funny. Really, really funny. The audience loved you. You know, great energy. You know, you have a really, really cool point of view, which is really important. I like the fact that you take some chances there.
Who was the
Yes.
sweetest of them all.
Yes,
Who
he
was
was
so
so
nice
great.
and hung out all night, rap night. Hung out. Remember when Tim Meadows was trying to holler at you?
Cool. Ruby, Jay, and her group, they seem to have some original material. And Lisa's very pretty. Does that count in this competition? Because it should.
Tim Meadows
Remember
and
when
I
Tim
were
Meadows was trying to
friends
holla
for a
at
little
you?
while. Nothing happened. I don't want to get
All right.
stabbed.
I just remember being at the hotel lobby bar and trying to be like, Tim Meadows, SNL. Oh my God, you were in sketches. Wasn't that cool? And he was like, is Lisa coming down? And I'm like, are you serious, Tim Meadows? Let me go get my hot roommate. Okay.
that, and we also met Jeffrey Ross.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I just saw him
it
again at
was-
Comedy Store not that long
yeah,
ago.
it-
The story.
like,
They still remember the story.
I met so many great comics.
I just saw
on that
Judy
show.
Gold not that long ago because I got booked again.
yeah.
Viacom was very, very good to me because I was East. Well, I was in Denver, and then a lot of stuff happened. And I ended up East Coast, and I have family back East, so I would be happy to come back East and spend time in Philly or New York at any moment, right? So they were very good to me. I got produced on Nick Mom. I did a show called Night Out, and they put me on TV with Jim Brewer and Judy Gold, and I was about maybe 7 years in then. So they were very good to me. So every year after Nick at Night, I got a check from Viacom. I want to say for every year for doing something silly, for just can we put you on a commercial? They were very good to me. Viacom was very nice to me. I will say that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Because she won, and that was $50,000, wasn't
yeah. I bought a convertible.
it? Do you know what I got? Dick.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Nothing.
For coming in first runner-up.
Yeah. They should have done something.
First runner-up.
I should have probably slid you $10,000. Sorry
I know.
about that. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I should have thought that through. It's all gone now.
Yeah, no,
I
of
burned it up in
course.
the divorce.
Of course.
I had to sell that car during the divorce. I paid alimony for 3 years. I was in a horrible situation.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, that was the other reason why I won. So I won for three distinct reasons. Cinderella Story, first set out, wins TV show, right? Pakistani Muslim, come on, right?
Yeah.
Stay-at-home dad. My ex-husband was a full-time stay-at-home dad.
Right.
Raising two girls.
That is...
So that's a slam dunk.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do reality,
That's
this is
AGT.
it was right after writer's strike. So all the television shows were documentaries right then because writers are on strike. They got to find idiots who can sound funny on TV without having to write anything for them. And Lord knows I'm an idiot, so that worked out. I never shut up. I always have something stupid to say. I have an opinion on everything. I'm Gen Xer. Just ask me, you know. So that kind of worked for them, right?
Kind of making sense who I am now.
Yeah, right? I mean, just like you get to that point in life where you're just like, what? Ask me anything. No fucks given. I'm in menopause. Tell me what you want. I'm a man now.
I remember you crying, and I remember us being in the room that they put us up in that hotel in New York before the finals.
Yep.
And I was like, let's fucking go over your set, and this is how you do an act out. And this is, and it was so great because you were like a sponge. Yeah. You were very humble. You weren't like, oh, I know what I'm doing. You were just like,
teach me more. Tell me more. What do I do next?
You were like, how do I? And it was so great because you really rose to the occasion.
Yeah,
like
I'm great under pressure. It's weird.
Yeah,
yeah.
You were really, and not only that, because of your amazing memory, you could remember all the notes.
Yeah.
And like I'm the complete opposite on stage. I freak when I have to remember stuff.
Okay.
And I always have notes. Always.
Yeah.
No matter what I'm doing, TV, sets, whatever. Always.
Yeah. I'm the opposite.
And you're the opposite, which is
I have to put makeup on.
I wish I had more of that skill.
People are like, what is going on with you? And a girl from Denver from long ago, we ran into each other at a show many years later. She's like, and Ruby Nicholas doing makeup in the back of the show. It's like home week. And I said, yeah, that's my meditation. I found out that's what I'm doing. I didn't realize it. But like, I was always running late, you know.
Right.
I have really raging ADHD. And I can pay attention to a lot of things at once, or I can be distracted by a lot of things at once, you know? So I have to like pull it really close in.
Yeah.
And just that act of like being really slow and doing the things and like, you know, it just settles
It's like
me.
a little bit of
It's
ritual.
a little meditation. Yeah, it's a pre-show ritual.
Yeah.
But I don't eat before shows now. So I found out that I need to be able to bop around and move and think.
Yes.
And when I eat a meal, they're like, you got a free meal. And I'm like, cool. Can I order it 3 minutes before I get off stage? When does the kitchen...
Yeah.
I've learned all the things now. You got to ask those things, right? When does the kitchen close? How much do I get off on meals? You know,
Right.
Comedy things, right? Those I think are real pro things versus like when I was coming around taking pictures with everyone. You were like, what is wrong with you?
Of course.
Are you serious right now? Put your camera away.
Have you jumped on the whole social media bandwagon?
With what?
Like just how comedians really
They
almost
pop.
have to.
They have to pop there. Yeah. I haven't yet done sets that I like enough that I want to edit down and put clips out there. I've thrown a couple clips out there. Mostly like there's this one woman who calls me Indian on stage and I have to call her out and be like, no, I'm Pakistani, the one without the dot, dumbass. And like, so it's just kinda,
that's perfect.
she's like, the one with the dot. There's like this drunken lady yelling, the one with the dot, just at me. You know?
You have to.
And so I clip that and put that out really fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, my most viral Instagram reel is 600, 700,000 views. And it's when I got 41 turkeys from Instacart after ordering 2. So that happened. But it wasn't comedy related.
Isn't that crazy? It's nuts to me how crowd work and not comedy related things are now just going
Sketchy
viral.
Things, yeah.
Like
a lot of places that have a following online now. And a lot of that was sort of like during the pandemic, right? So those folks, you know, they drop sets in those specific spots and you get a good clip and you'll go viral. So yeah, so it's just a matter of time, right? Like my material's original. It's weird.
Right.
I talk about a lot of weird stuff. My kid canceled me. I have a Gen Z kid who canceled me and another Gen Z kid who talks to me all the time is coming to California to visit. She's a Fulbright scholar. She's a genius. So I don't know that I'm really like, you know, that mad at it. You know what I mean? The other one's still having me edit her
their
papers
parent.
when she was in college. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, you know, the hard one canceled me. So I feel like I kind of skated, you know? The easy one still has me in the mix. So I kind of like that.
And how old are your kids now?
25 and 22.
Holy cow. Oh my gosh, I remember seeing them so little.
Tiny, tiny babies. When I did Funniest Mom, they were 5 and 2.
Ted will call me and say, talk to your girl, because apparently they're only my girls when they're being divas. Depending on who's yelling at what time, Ted's head will start to twitch.
There's no school this week. What planet do you live on?
The ladies on my street call me the best husband in town, so.
Oh my gosh. So I was sad and cryy and a mom and, you know, a weirdo the whole time. But I was a complete lay person, but I've loved comedy since the beginning. So the one thing that I have to say is that I was a very willing, ready student. Right. I had been listening to these people the whole of my life, right?
Right.
These people who used these words and made me feel less alone in the world. Where I was very alone in the world.
That is what comedy does.
Yeah.
And
Every
I
day
think
of my life I was alone.
that's for people who listen, and that's for people who do it too.
Right.
Because usually comedians are loners.
Absolutely.
And introverts. And
Yeah.
people are like, what? How can
Yeah.
you be an introvert when
Yeah.
all you do is talk at people? And
Yeah.
I'm like, I am an extreme introvert.
Yeah. I
Like
know
anything,
you are. That
anything
blew
more
me
than
away.
2 or 3 people,
Yep.
I start to get really like...
Yep, that blows me away. We're very different that way.
Yeah.
I've met many introverted comics.
Yeah.
But I never had a stage, right, until I was 35 years old, right? I was 35 when I was Funniest Mom. So until that point, I had culled together this like crazy personality that drew people, you know? And so I did presentations at work and things like that. And I've always had that big voice.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to
Yeah.
listen to me right now, you know?
Right.
And I think I cultivated that as a result of I want to be heard. I've never been heard.
Yeah.
You know, my mom wore a burqa until she was introduced to my dad on her wedding day, and then trafficked to America in 1967. You know what I mean? Like we were raised by very different people. You know,
Right.
So, sit down and shut up were very common phrases in my house. We're girls too. We don't.
Yeah.
But for the first time ever, stand-up comedy was like, here's a spotlight. Here's a microphone.
People are going to listen to you. You get to talk.
It was very cool. It was a very cool feeling.
And it's really powerful.
Yeah.
You know, when it's used, even when it's used incorrectly, it's powerful.
Yeah.
Actually, I was just going to say when it's used correctly,
It's
but
always
no.
for the greater good. When they say art will start a revolution, guarantee you it will come from comedy first. Because when people say, whoa, how are you an artist? I'm like, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about my art, okay? Art is the ability to take a medium of any form and change someone's feelings.
Yeah.
How they feel. If I say words as my paintbrush medium, if I use these words and you start squirming around in your seat because your butthole can't handle it, and that's your sympathetic nervous system coming in from way deep down in the back of your brain, the thing that helps you breathe is the same thing that closes up your butthole. Because that's how I learned it in school. Because I have 3 master's degrees. One of them has a big fat S for science on the end of it. And they told us that nervous system is when you see a bear in the woods. Now is not the time. Butthole, close, fast, tight, now. Because you cannot afford this right now. The bear will eat your face, right? Comics see it all the time. We make fun of the buttholes all the time. We're very aware of it, but we don't know why we're aware of it. But why we're aware of it is because it taps a very base survival instinct inside you. And if I can touch you there with words from my mouth, you better believe it's an art form.
Yeah,
you better believe
you
it.
can touch my butthole. I will. I can feel it. Actually, it's puckering right now.
Yeah. Pandemic got weird. I touch people's buttholes. In the pandemic. It's funny.
It's wild what we get to do and what we get to experience. And being friends with other comics is just, it's like a really big, awesome, dysfunctional family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I talk about too, like when you talk about social change and the things that happen, we're the last philosophers, right? We're the last truth tellers. There's no one else out there telling the truth. The teachers aren't telling the truth. Doctors aren't telling the truth. Your parents aren't telling the truth. No one's telling the truth. The government's not telling the truth. No one's telling the truth.
They're trying to silence us. I mean, there's so much trying to silence us, and I think even politics, like you can't. It's so divisive. I used to have the best bit about Trump, and every time you even mention a party, it doesn't even matter. All of a sudden fists are out and people get really tense, and it's
everyone is angry.
No, guys, the reason we're talking about it is because we do need to laugh about it,
right?
Because it's silly,
right?
The extent of the extremeness about it is just crazy, and so. That's why I don't like when people get so bent out of shape about a topic, because it's like, we're talking about it because we do need to de-escalate it.
Yeah. Right.
Let's all laugh and be silly about this topic versus...
Yeah. It's harder for them.
Yeah.
I think our generation specifically, I think Gen Xers being the middle generation, being the smallest of the voices.
Yeah.
We are the tiniest of the generations, right? We're also the least traumatized. of the generations. We didn't have an active live man-to-man war in our generation, you know? So I forgive the boomers and the Gen Zs. They've seen nothing but strife in their lifetime. You know, they do nothing but fight, and I get it, but also too, like, we gotta dialogue at some point, you know? Like someone's gonna, you gotta talk to grandma at some point, you know? But yeah, I do a joke about that actually too, like how they've seen so much trauma. Like Gen X has not seen that kind of trauma. I dated a Gen X Marine. He had a tattoo. People would say, thank you for your service. He would say, you're welcome. You know what he did? He played the trumpet for 20 years in the Marine Corps band. And then he got his GI Bill and is a programmer. That's a Gen X veteran, okay?
What?
I was like, don't say you're welcome.
Freaking trumpet.
Marine has a tattoo. I'm like, you need to stop it with the tattoo. Thank you for your service. I'm like, don't thank him.
Thank you for
I
playing.
played for the Prime Minister of Japan in Tokyo. I'm like, oh, cool. Thank you for your service.
Oh my gosh.
Really? Really?
I do a Sarah Palin impersonation.
Impersonation.
Yeah. And I actually love
Melania.
Huh?
I could see you doing Melania. You have the bone structure
people
for
have asked me to do Melania. I can't.
Accent
One,
is hard for
yeah,
Eastern
the
European.
hard.
Very difficult.
Yeah. It's hard. She's not in the news or in the light very often.
Yeah.
And
It has to be just like an imaginary sort of like,
Yes, but I can nail Sarah Palin.
Sarah Palin's a character,
it's easier. And I love being a dumb white woman. I broke that glass ceiling. Don't you forget that. This is the only poll I'm interested in. Did you see that? Oh my gosh. If this is what it means to serve at the polls, I'm in. Sign me up.
You know what would be even better?
What?
I think you should nail Tina Fey doing Sarah Palin because that's hilarious.
Yeah,
it's like a Victoria energy, you know?
People have said that. I've actually tried to do Sarah Palin impersonating Tina Fey doing her.
That's good.
But
that's
it's really
energy for sure.
It's harder, and the jokes have to be different, and it's easier for me to just be a dumb white woman.
Yeah.
I mean
there's knock on wood, man. It always is. It's always a good default setting.
There are smart white women. If there's white women out there, I'm imitating the dumb Karens, the ones we don't like.
Yeah, hello there, my fellow Americans. Yeah, it is so good to be here. Can you believe it? They let me out of the house. I know. And I've been in the news. Did you see that I tried to sue the New York Times? I know, I lost that too. Okay, yeah, I know. It's because they were saying all these things about me that weren't true. You know, they're saying all these mean things. And I'm like, hey, oh, it's called defecation of character. Yeah, and that's a bunch of crap, you guys. That's not nice. It's not nice at all.
The first time I ever saw anyone on stage was live, 1985. I was 15 years old, and we were in the 18 and under, the 18-year-old section. Improv on Melrose. It was the first time. It was New Talent Night. It was a Tuesday night. I saw Harry Anderson. I saw Sinbad. I saw Ellen DeGeneres doing a 5-minute set.
Yeah.
I saw the Funny Boys. Remember them? Those two? There were two guys, and they were on Johnny Carson, and they did funny impressions.
Dennis, the menace is back. Back from Vietnam. Back from the asylum. Back to avenge the death of his dog, Ruff. Dennis, the menace is back. Starring Katharine Hepburn as Mrs. Wilson.
Oh, George, you old poop. You're so hard on the boy.
Martin Sheen as Joey.
Maple Street. Shucks. The more I read about Dennis, the more I knew he had to be stopped.
Special guest star
Jack Nicholson as Ruff the dog. Bow, wow, wow.
And the second guy was on Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and he says the line, "You're Abe Vroman, the sausage king of Chicago."
Oh, that guy. I know that guy.
Is there a problem?
You're Abe Froman.
That's right. I'm Abe Froman.
The sausage king of Chicago.
You are like an encyclopedia.
It was a Friday night ABC show. I'm living, breathing pop-up video for anyone who wants to know anything about the 80s. I know all of it. I lived on the television 24/7. My dad would call me TV Guide. Hey, TV Guide, what's coming tonight? I knew every program, every channel, like Rain Man. Like, that's what I use my brain for. Right.
So what's your goal? Like your ultimate, what's your dream scenario?
Take on Andrew Tate, rule the world.
Nice.
Yeah.
Of course.
The GOAT, the professional. I can't wait. I'm coming for you, bitch. Yeah. Yeah, he's ruining Gen Z men. He's ruining millennial men. You're turning the wrong men into alpha men who think they're alpha men, but they're not, because mostly they have mommy issues. And as a 54-year-old woman who's still hot, they're the ones who end up on my doorstep. Because you can't be funny mom and not have every 25-year-old comic whose mommy broke them try to get on your tit, right? Like, so that's what I've been dealing with for the past 19 years. It's kind of become my wheelhouse. My immediate past boyfriend, I treat them like Rotary presidents. My immediate past boyfriend was 27 years younger than me.
Holy
and doesn't
cow.
have mommy issues at all. But follows Andrew Tate like it's a religion. And he's like, well, I'm alpha. And I'm like, are you though?
Wow.
You're still a baby. Come on. Let's go in the bedroom.
I don't know how you can date these younger guys.
They're so
I mean,
good.
that much younger.
They're so much fun. We have so much in common. Do you know what it's like? Bro, I was a single mom to a Gen Z pair of girls. We had one television.
Yeah.
I had Net Nanny. I was on the internet. I followed them. I watched their YouTubes with them. I watched the stupid shows. So when I see a Gen Z guy, and, like I have rules. I have name rules. Like I date, like my guys, right? Kevin, Scott, Jeff. That's my age, right? Bill. These are my age, right?
Right.
And then, I was stopping around the Justin Jason line. Because it's like the Justin Jason
Brandon.
Jake. Yeah.
Did Brandon slip into that yet?
No. Once you hit the
Brandon's too young.
Brandon's too young. It's Tyler, Taylor, Hunter, Caleb, Logan, Brendan, Brennan, all those guys.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cabana Boy age is like 24 to 28. Once you hit your Saturn return, boys, get your shit together. It is not a good look anymore. It is not a good look. Don't come knocking on my door at 29, 30. Something is wrong with you. 25, 26, sure. They're not trying to get pregnant. I'm not trying to get pregnant. I can't get pregnant. It's kind of awesome.
I was like,
do you know how many 24-year-olds are like, I've never come inside a girl before? And I'm like, let's fucking go, bitch. It's so fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, there will be a public service announcement running at the bottom of the screen.
Right.
Don't rape little boys. That's
They're not boys. If there's listen, if there's grass on the ball
I
field,
know. We're not. It's
what the men used to
consensual.
say.
It's consensual.
So consensual.
Molestation. It's consensual.
So consensual. So consensual. I'm very flexible. Still got it in me. Very spry. I take circus classes. I go on the stilts. I go upside down.
Oh my gosh.
I grew half an inch between the ages of 52 and 53.
That's the thing. The younger guys, the really younger guys, love to be with an older woman because they're like, oh, I'm going to learn so much. This is amazing. She's going to do stuff that the younger girls don't do. But now it's weird. I think the younger girls are going way beyond boundaries that we normally at our age, when we were that age, we wouldn't cross those. But I think that they're getting freakier because porn is so much more prevalent now.
Right.
I mean, everybody's on the internet. Before, porn for us was a magazine.
Yeah.
It was like you had
My
to get
dad's
a
Playboys.
VHS.
My dad's Playboys.
It wasn't a big deal. You weren't really watching that many movies.
It
But
wasn't
now
live action. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't breaking women's spirits in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
So there's a lot going on with porn now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
normal sex is hard.
Yeah.
Having just like normal sex with normal situation.
Just like a normal missionary is
Internet
just
dating makes it hard. Everything makes it hard. A friend of mine who's a comedian in San Francisco, she pointed out, Gen Z comedian, it was a great look. She's working on a bit about it, so nobody steal it. She's like, did you ever notice? She's like, you can tell who the online couples are because they have the same, like, sevens are only dating sevens out here. Eights are only dating eights. You know what I mean? She's like, when you see that like big fat guy with some hottie, you're like, yeah, they met at the grocery store.
Yeah, for sure.
He made me laugh till my milk fell out of my nose. Just like it's that. Nothing's real anymore, right? Because there's so much choice and freedom.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I never dated a brown guy. I never dated a Muslim guy. I was alone, remember, right?
Wow.
So now I get to date them all. It's so much fun. Because I'm me as a released person, right? My ex-husband converted to Islam to marry me. I was still all in when I got married, right?
Yeah.
And so then I got divorced, and then I was all out, and then I was hoeing it up, and now I feel balanced. I feel good.
Yeah.
Because I have something to offer. And I love me some like 25, 26-year-old confused Muslim men. Because the men, you know what?
At that age, they're all confused. Yeah.
Right. But the Muslim men are putting a stake in the ground at 25 and going, I'm going to get laid. I'm going to drink some alcohol. I'm going to eat some bacon, mom. You know, like they just like, that's their moment in time for some reason. Yeah. You know, like they're out of college. They maybe did or didn't go to grad school, preferably grad school, because we can have a conversation then. Otherwise, right, they have something. But it's so cool because we vibe on a completely American brown person level.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to wife you up and have your fucking baby. Do you see what I'm saying? A 25-year-old Muslim girl, brown, and she's talking to you and you're in med school. You just this is press. That's just press and thirst the whole time. She just wants to trap you immediately and take you to her mother who wants you to come home with a doctor. You know, it's so much stress for them. I'm a whole stress reliever.
And this is why she needs a sitcom, guys. This is why. Did you just hear it? That was the pitch. So NBC, ABC, HBO, right here.
Yeah.
It's Ruby Nicholas, guys. Yeah. Right? This is...
Dude, Rami Youssef called me a G. And then I made him say salam alaikum to my boyfriend who was 27 years younger than me. I have it on tape on my phone. It's hilarious. He's like, you're a G. He's like, how old is he? And I'm like, yeah, it's fine, huh?
She's breaking in boys right and left, guys.
Just helping them out.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
So you can find me if you go to rubynicholas.com. That's usually where I post my dates. I'm doing a bunch of stuff. I'm running around. I have two big projects. Good Session, co-producing a show called Good Session. If you go to goodsessioncomedy.com, you can find out all about that.
Yeah.
And I'm producing a show called Empty Jesters with my friend Donna Lee, and that is emptyjesters.com. And it is under construction because I am responsible for it.
Please step together, Lisa and Ruby. It has been a long journey to get here, hasn't it? Yes.
I knew I won when I got off stage. I knew I won. I could tell.
Wow,
I already knew.
Really?
Yeah. But the humble thing was very important to me, and it stayed stuck in my head. And I know I'm going over, but like the reason I was doing that was because like I knew I was new, and they were just beating me up. Do you know I've never told the I won Funniest Mom in America story on stage? It's been 19 years. That's how bad it was for me and traumatic, because they made fun of me in Denver. Then the girl who
for winning because you were new.
Because I was new, and they could, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I was on a showcase with a girl who I beat, right? For $50,000 on national television. I was in the New York Times. I was on Good Morning America, right?
Yeah.
I was on the front page of the Denver Post, for God's sake, right? This girl goes on and just I went on. I did a regular 7-minute set. I had a great set. I went on stage. I had a great set. That's all I wanted to do was go on stage. She goes on like 3 comics after me, starts destroying, talking about how she wanted to murder me on stage. She wanted to stab me in the throat. And she was hilariously funny. And a guy was standing near me, and he goes, is she talking about you right now? And I was like, yeah, I guess it's just jokes or whatever. And I still remember, like, it still made me cry. It still hurt so badly that I came into this industry as a human being, and people had nothing but bad, horrible things to say. And there was a cis, straight, white, hetero comic that booked a ton of shows in Oakland. And I remember we were chatting, and I told him, I was like, and I always told the story the same way. I got it. I understand the hatred. Everyone was working so hard for so little for so long. And I show up out of the suburbs, out of the blue, and won this TV show, and it was disgusting. And he was like, yeah, or maybe you're LeBron James. And I went, like no male hetero white man has ever approached that conversation with anything other than disgust. And like, oh yeah, people were definitely hating you. It was the nicest thing I'd ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And he was like, maybe they could have helped more than hindered, and you could be somewhere else in your career right now. But that's all water under the bridge, it is water under the bridge.
Yeah.
But it was a very interesting thing to note that, you know, the woker these newer comics get, like the woker people get, like, you know, if I told a funny Muslim terrorist joke on television or on streaming now, how it would catch fire versus, you know, on broadcast, which was a whole different animal back then, you know.
Right.
But it's very interesting the way people see you. as a woman in comedy now is definitely morphing than how they used to see us.
That's a very intelligent person that said that. That has no underlying agenda, no jealousy, no needing to be bigger and better than you.
Yep.
That's really humble and that's great.
It was
and
amazing.
I'm glad that you remembered that and felt it
was
probably
literally
healed
like someone
some of
took
the
my
bullshit.
head and like cracked it open and filled it with light. You know, it just felt so good to hear a little bit of justification that no, it's okay. You were meant to do this, right? Like I believe in callings.
Yeah.
I believe in like, you know, the universe telling you, and told me at a very young age. The whole of my life, people would say, because I would do my mom's accent, right? People would say, we're going to see you on HBO one day. And I knew that to be true. Like I've always known that, right? And then when I dropped out of college at 19 with $900 in my pocket and a one-way ticket to Los Angeles, my parents promptly put me in a mental institution for 32 days. And then I got out and graduated college and pursued a degree in medicine like a good Pakistani girl and married a man and did all the things.
Fuck, I didn't ever know that story.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Holy shit, girl. Wow.
When people say you don't know how to
tell
let
it
go,
on
I'm like,
stage?
I don't ever let go. It's the first time I've told it to a person in a podcast situation, but I tell it to people now.
I love that.
My dad told it on camera. When someone was filming me for a docu for a pilot, he was like, well, we tried to tell her no once. You know what happened? She ended up in mental hospital. I'm like, I ended up. Yeah. What is this? Wow. And then when I put it together, I went, oh my God, they put me away. I almost blacked it out completely, you know?
Oh my
Because it was crazy. But
the people that are supposed to protect you and love you and nurture you.
Make a path instead of making a path.
Yeah.
But on the other side
I
of
thought I really fucked up my kid. Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, my kid can cancel me all day. She was strong enough to cancel me. Right. And so and a comic helped me with that. Right. One of my very dear friends in comedy that we started together, we mic'd together, who's known my kid since 6 years old. Right. Since she was a bitty bitty baby. And he said, I don't know if this is going to help or not.
Yeah.
But you always said you wanted to raise girls that were stronger than you. And you've never been able to stand up to your mom.
Wow.
And here's your daughter standing up to you like it's nothing. And I was like, wow, she's so strong.
Yeah.
And so that helped me, because if that breaks the chain of control and madness and narcissism and this stuff that my family has been through for so many years behind so much tragedy and trauma and generational stuff. And, you know, my mom didn't get to pick her husband. She didn't get to pick her country. She didn't get to pick her town where she lived. She had no choices.
And you get to pick your 27-year-olds. So this is full fucking circle.
I have so much choice in the game now. Fantastic. All right.
You guys, this is Ruby Nicholas. Look her up. Go see a show of hers. She is fantastic. You will love her. Thank you so much for tuning in to Find the Funny with Lisa Alvarado. Thank you guys. See you next week. Or in 2 weeks. Yeah, because I'm lazy.